discussion in boxing before we get on to other more pleasant things to talk about. Hope all is well with you. My man Dwayne Jones in the building as usual said blessings up from Atlanta. My man Viva Tu Vida in the building. Salute Martin, good morning. Ready for this boxing conversation with one of the best in the business. Of course, it's you. I appreciate you, man. All right, let me see if some people actually popped into the live stream yet. Give me a second, because you guys left that stuff a little early, so don't want to be talking at my... there you go. You guys are in the building. This thing is just kind of slow. Viva Tu Vida in the building. Smooth Groove Boxing, always nice to see you. He said, and fuck Tyson Fury and all who support that piece of shit. Seriously, man, Tyson Fury right now doesn't even irritate. It's like when it doesn't even irritate me now, because it's just obviously that's the way these people operate, man. Boxing is just really overcome with scumbags. Like, man, come on, man. You guys, it got to tell me, man, that I can only imagine how crooked boxing was before there was, an internet to cover it and people to talk about it. I can't imagine the stuff that people would do, man, because this has got to be the most grimy of the grimy of the grimy to allow from ESPN to all the way down to Oscar Valdez, and from Oscar Valdez all the way to ESPN. Those are the people that I'm most disappointed with, is like ESPN and the networks. You would think when something like this would happen that the network itself would say, hey man, maybe not. But I guess, they're so hard up for content that they'll take anything they can get to. Or steroid abuse is just so rampant. It's so rampant in sport that they can't have sports without steroids. I mean, maybe do you think that steroids have gotten so common in sports that sports can't exist without steroids? Because you see it all over the place, man. But this one I just think is just so over the top, man, that people got to say something about it. I personally am not going to watch that Oscar Valdez fight. I'm not usually one that calls for boycotts or whatever, but I don't think that it is. I just can't watch the guy fight, man. I refuse to watch that dude fight on ESPN. At least that's my mindset now. Hopefully I won't sell myself out because I love boxing, It's your boy Al said De La Hoya contracted COVID before he can even fight. Yeah, he contracted a case of them tickets weren't selling. Man, COVID is a perfect excuse to bail out of something you shouldn't have been doing anyway. I don't know why Oscar De La Hoya was fighting anyway, man. James Dom said, and answers have always been in sports. I mean, I don't doubt it, that there's always been some way to cheat. You know what I mean? 76 Mark Palermo said, I just think cheating is an easier way to catch is way easier to catch now with the advent of the smartphone. Yeah, well, it's definitely getting people's names are getting the reputation's getting done. I mean, the people that are watching, Oscar Valdez's reputation is just gone. I mean, he can do all of the speeches that he wants, but his reputation is gone, man. There's no coming back from that. Once you test positive for steroids, and it doesn't matter whether or not the WBC stands behind him and ESPN puts on his fights and all that stuff. Anytime he gets in the ring, man, you're gonna think that dude's a cheater, and maybe the other guy is too. And they just figure, hey man, people are stupid, and there's nothing they can do about it, man. Lorenzo Escapado, man, what's going on, Lorenzo? Hope you're doing well on this fine Sunday, man. Let me get a coffee, get a little energy in myself. Plant needs to keep the same energy or just shut up because he's involved with the godfather of PEDs. I don't know, man. It seems like, why should he? If he's not using steroids, he has the right to say something about it, especially with the guy that he's getting into the ring with. You know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't Canelo? The fight's not till November. I mean, for Caleb Plant to say something about Canelo Alvarez being on steroids is pretty smart, in my opinion, because you might get the dude dissuaded from using them because of all the pressure. But if he gets popped one more time, man, but I think he probably got his rhythms and all this stuff worked out, man. But I know that you guys are Canelo supporters, or some people are Canelo supporters, and you're gonna support Canelo no matter what. man, I was a big Canelo Alvarez fan. I just can't do it. I'm sorry, man. Once a guy pops dirty for me, you know, you don't, I mean, if you support a steroid abuser, then you don't have the right to say anything else about anybody else cheating. And I'm not willing to give up my right to say something about other people cheating just because I happen to like somebody. And I understand what it is to really like a fighter and want to support a fighter and be such a fan of a fighter that you'll overlook stuff. I mean, with Floyd Mayweather Jr., I'm a big fan of Floyd Mayweather Jr. What's going on? Jimmy Bernard says, salute Fannon to Don. What's going on with you, man? I appreciate you guys showing up and, you know, showing up into the live stream this morning, you know, especially during these trying times in boxing when ain't nothing happening. This is the driest I've seen boxing in a long time, man. Absolutely, man. I mean, and I'm a boxing fanatic. I wake up in the morning trying to figure out what I can do to talk about boxing, you know? So, and you know, so I'm obsessive compulsive about it. And this is the driest boxing has been. And to have this type of thing happening in the sport is just, it's really, you know who I will say that I really felt good about, man? I really do feel good about the boxers, though. I like the fact that Caleb Plant says something about it. I like the fact that Tim Bradley said something about it, that Andre Ward said something about it, and they said something about it on ESPN. So my hat goes off to those guys. You know what I mean? For saying something about it. I really wish these guys wouldn't do it, but you know, if you really can't hang, and if you find out that you can't hang, like Oscar Valdez can't, because Oscar Valdez is not some hellified fighter. I'm sorry. The dude is going to lose to Gervonta Davis. They'll lose to Gary Russell Jr. He moves up to lightweight. He'll lose against Vasily Lomachenko, probably lose against Teofimo Lopez. And he feels like he needs that extra edge, you know, not to go irrelevant, man. Maybe he doesn't want to go the way of Felix Verdejo. Whatever the case is, man, you know, as far as his reputation goes, it's gone, man. Ricky Jones said, this is nothing new. Canelo been juicing for years. It is new when you let somebody just get into the ring. Did I see the Lara fight? Yeah, I saw that fight. Dang, look. Man, I was laughing my behind off at that Josh Warrington fight because Josh Warrington caused that headbutt. He caused it himself. He headbutted that dude like 3 times. And for him to bust his eye open before the 4th round, man, I was like, that's what you get. Because now he's screwed. He's not going to get another shot at that title, man. He was looking like, I mean, honestly, Lara looked like he was starting to press the gas on Josh Warrington anyway. I don't think Warrington was going to get out of that fight awake. I don't think Warrington was going to get out of that fight awake at all, man. I thought he was going to get knocked out, but he was trying to stay tight, trying to protect his chin, got in there with that head, boop, and bust his eye up. And then they call that sucker, when they call that sucker a technical draw, you could look at Lara's face, look like, yeah. Lara was happy, dog. Lara could barely contain his happiness, man. With that cut, man. Yeah, I thought that shit was hilarious, man. He said, it's Professor Black Truth. Now, do I look like Black Truth? Does he wear, I don't think he ever shows his face, man. But yeah, I love that Lara fight. I watched that DAZN card. I didn't, for the first time though, I dropped my subscription to DAZN and I watched all of the DAZN fights via stream, and I was cool with it. I was like, man, these guys ain't getting my money ever again. I'm sorry, man. I went stream on that one, man. Man, thank you guys for supporting the channel, dog, during the oasis, which is boxing right now. Or what do you call it? A desert, which is boxing right now. Said RN2763 Mass said the C in WBC stands for cartel. Well, if it stands for cartel, that cartel is doing its job because, man, I swear, they said we making our money this time. Yeah, I know the crime that stuff's involved in boxing. It goes without saying. You know what I'm saying? It's like it goes without saying, and you know that's where a lot of the corruption comes from. But at the same time, you know, it is what it is. You got to point out the corruption at the people that you actually know, because I don't know the people behind the scenes, man, in the Mexican cartels that may be pushing buttons to get people to do certain stuff. But I don't think that they're necessarily doing any. Well, maybe they are. You know, they've got inroads into government, man. But just back on that card last night, man, I'm telling you, I can't wait for Katie Taylor to fight Jessica McCaskill, for her to fight Jessica McCaskill or Amanda Serrano, man. I certainly hope that Clarissa Shield comes back to female boxing and doesn't just pretty much just stay over there in MMA, man, because there's some really good fighters in female boxing. Katie Taylor's one, but I hope they pay that lady enough money to get that Jessica Serrano fight. But what was the other fight that was on that card? Conor Benn. Conor Benn ain't gonna make it, homie. I'm gonna tell you right now, Conor Benn is gonna get Conor Benn and is a very, very strong fighter, but he should have been able to, but he's like too one-dimensional. You know what I mean? He's too one-dimensional. He's attack, and he's using his strength to try to get what's his name? Adrian Granados out of there. But, you know, I think he's just too one-dimensional, and I think he loses against the top. I think he loses against the top welterweights. I'm telling you for sure that Jaron Ennis is going to stop him. Like, Jaron Ennis stops him. I think Virgil Ortiz more than likely is going to stop that dude. Well, it just depends. He's really, really strong though, but he seems a little bit one-dimensional. Mike once said, heard DAZN raise prices to $30. I don't know, it's something like that. No, I think it was like $20 a month. $19.99 a month. That's $19.99 a month is ridiculous for that. I mean, I can't do it, especially when I can get it on a stream. I couldn't justify it. I can justify Showtime. You know, I justify Showtime. I can't justify DAZN. DAZN is just a UK fighting app. I mean, it's like Box Nation. But I will tell you though, they put on a good show. Like, I'll tell you, I'd love to go to, like, if I went to the UK, I would love to go to a Matchroom event. That event looked like it was popping, you know, because they've got so much support in those local areas. But man, I'm telling you, it looked like it was an exciting fight, and the fights were okay. You just can tell that they're really not top-notch fighters though. You know what I mean? Michael Kirkland, so glad we got a white guy like Caleb Plant speaking out about Alvarez. Hey, Caleb Plant is laying it on the line, and he said, look, man, so you trying to tell me that you got $100 million and you live in San Diego and you just picking up random taco meat, you know, off the street in Mexico. Are you serious? I mean, it's so ridiculous, dude, that, you know, that it's just so, what is more ridiculous? The boar meat excuse from Tyson Fury, the boar meat excuse from Tyson Fury, or the taco stand stuff from Canelo Alvarez, because you know Canelo Alvarez is not walking around on the street eating them things, eating the meat of the common folk, man. You know what I'm saying? He's not sitting there eating tacos next to toxic waste dumps. Okay, he's in San Diego, man. They don't got computer all in the tacos in San Diego. You know what I'm saying? But whatever, man. You know, we keep on believing it. We keep on doing it. But at least if we're gonna do it, put some good fights with it. You know, make some good fights, man. Don't just have it so, you know, we're gonna have a, yeah. B Cherry said world boxing corruption. Yeah, and the ABC's in on it. The ABC actually was like cool with it because of the out of competition steroiding. Like, they say there's certain things that you can do out of competition and other things you can't, that you can do out of competition, but you can't do in competition. So that's that line that they drew. But the problem is that the WBC's rules that they use VADA. So they're violating their own rules by allowing that to happen. If you're not going to use VADA, then shut down the program. You know, if you're not going to use VADA and you're going to say, okay, you just do whatever you want to do, you know, out of competition, and then just use VADA. Don't use WADA. Why are you going to pretend like you've got a heightened standard, but then you lower your standard as soon as that heightened standard causes you problems, you know, with Mexican fighters? By the way, similar to your franchise belt. But, you know, if you're going to at least do it, make some good fights, man. PC has said, if my blood pressure was normal and I ate 1 teaspoon of salt, I wouldn't now have high blood pressure. This guy went from 0 levels of testing positive off a taco or 2. Hey, man, once you smell the taco, you are tainted with Combuterol. Obviously, these guys are full of crap. Obviously, they're full of crap. That's without a doubt. But, you know, Roy Jones didn't get stripped when he was on roids. He didn't test positive for roids. You see, you guys don't try to defend yourself. Don't try to defend yourself with calling people that never got caught and comparing it. Oscar Valdez got caught. Oscar Valdez got caught. Roy Jones Jr. never got caught. If he got caught, then let me know that he got caught. When was he caught? Before what fight was he caught? I'm seriously. Now, I'm not talking about some I'm not talking about testimony from Balco where somebody says, oh, yeah, I gave something to Roy Jones Jr. Yeah, but when was he caught? If he wasn't caught, it's apples and oranges, man. We're talking about somebody that got caught. We're not talking about somebody where there's a rumor that he tested positive. If you don't know that he got caught, you don't know that he got caught. It's just a different scenario. He didn't get caught, man. Yeah, I mean, James Jones, Jones got caught. When did he get caught? What fight? Seriously, hey, Jackman, what fight did he get caught? Before what fight? Did he get caught? And did it come out and they say, yeah, Roy Jones Jr. is tested positive for performance-enhancing drug, but we're going to let him fight? Seriously, that didn't happen. Roy Jones Jr. never tested positive for performance-enhancing drug. He never got caught. He made it. If he tested positive, it's a positive test. It's a positive test that never came to light. He didn't have. Let me put it this way: he didn't have a sanctioned body catch him. That's an accusation. Accusations. I mean, what can you do with accusations, man? You know, when somebody makes an accusation that somebody was cheating, that's just an accusation, man. And you can't do anything about accusations. I think that Manny Pacquiao was probably using steroids, man. But he was only accused. He was never caught. You know, I think the Klitschko's were juicing. He wasn't. No, he was not caught. You're not telling the truth. You're conflating an accusation with something that happened with Oscar. You're conflating an accusation is with somebody where somebody literally got caught in a fight and they decided to let the fight continue even though the guy got caught for steroids. Now, in the United States, that's something that is highly unusual. In the UK, they did it with Dillian White, but in Dillian White, they tried to cover it up. Here, they're just bold. They're as bold as brass. Like, hey, let's see if this flies. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, let's get rid of the steroid problem by just acting like we can't, like, who cares? It just emboldened them. You know what I mean? Back then, they tested after the fight. Yeah, but they did not. They test after the fight now. They test before and after the fight. They test after the fight right now. They tested before the fight then, too. But they tested before the fight and after the fight for steroids. There's never been a time for steroids that they didn't test before and after the fight. They didn't get caught, man. You're conflating an accusation from Roy Jones Jr. from something that actually happened, which is very unfair, man. You know, there's never been a case that I know of in the United States where somebody tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Everybody knows they tested positive, but they said, whatever, the fight's going to continue on a technicality, and you're going to let this guy who was using steroids get in there and compete. I don't know that happening. And he ain't clean. He got caught. You know what I'm saying? It's an accusation. It is unless he got caught. Look, are you saying he tested a sample years later and found that the sample was dirty? You don't have anything to tell me that Roy Jones Jr. tested positive before a fight. Which fight was it that he tested positive after? Just tell me, what fight did Roy Jones Jr. test positive after? I'm not saying that Roy Jones Jr. wasn't on steroids. He very well could have been on steroids. He may have been on steroids. Evander Holyfield may have been on steroids. Mike Tyson was probably on steroids later in his career. I don't think he was earlier, but later in his career. I think that there's a lot of guys that were on steroids, but they didn't get caught, man. That's a big difference. Now, then you know that's not right. You know he didn't get test positive in the fight for Richard Hall in 2000. No, he didn't. No. He did not get caught for steroids after that fight. It didn't hit no newspapers. He didn't have anybody say, nobody said, that's some shit that came in years later. And guess what? If they had caught him, they should have suspended him. If they caught him after the fight, they should have suspended him. That stuff that's accusations, man, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, I'm not trying to say that he wasn't on steroids. I don't know that he was, but I'm telling you, that's not the same thing as Oscar Valdez. If they caught Roy Jones Jr. before the fight, knew he was on steroids, and then allowed him to fight, okay. Then what's going on, Mike Jones? Chilling. Yeah, man, dude, look, it's not true. It's you guys trying to deflect and trying to make it look like this is normal. It's not normal, okay? Sorry. You're not going to be able to go back and look back to the 50s and find where this happened. It ain't worse. Get out of here, man. That's ridiculous. This man it's worse. We know he's on steroids right now. The fight's not till next week, and he's going to fight. What do you mean? Like with Roy Jones Jr., nobody knew it. If he tested positive, they didn't say anything. The WBA, the WBC, nobody said anything. Right now, everybody knows that he tested positive. You guys are just making excuses. You're PR people trying to make excuses for the fact that this dirty shit is happening. And it's just dirty, man. Flat out dirty. Name what steroid? Hey, Jack, what steroid did he used a performance enhancing drug? Excuse me. Let me correct myself since you want to be piddling. He used something that was a banned substance. That was a stimulant. How about that? You're not going to get out of this by trying to play word games. Okay, it wasn't an anabolic steroid. It was something else. It was another performance enhancing drug. Cap G said, Phentermine is a PED. I sell it every day. It's a performance enhancing drug. So now you've been exposed, sir. Thank you. You got cute twice and you got exposed. I'm not going to do that around here. Okay. I'm just telling you, you're not going to play word games and try to get out of something by trying to compare something 20 years ago that you're assuming happened 20 years ago and trying to compare that to what we know is going to happen next week. It's the 5th. He's supposed to be fighting in 5. He's fighting next week. He said, yeah, it helps with breathing and it's cheating. Say you can't buy clenbuterol at Walmart, so it's illegal. Look, man, can we just all stop acting and pretending? Like this guy's not on steroids, like this guy's not using performance enhancing drugs, which includes steroids, stimulants, and any other thing that you can use to cheat. Oscar Valdez cheated. He was cheating. He got caught cheating, and that's it. And they let him off on it. They let him off on a dubious technicality at best. A dubious one. Oh, he was using it out of competition. What do you mean he's out of competition? It's his body. He's prepared for a fight. You just can't use it. Well, you can use all this stuff 12 weeks before the fight, but you got to get off of it. So they juice up and do all kind of stuff, then they get clean when it's time to have a training camp. So I'm sorry, he was dirty he's dirty in between fights. You know what I'm saying? CG Cap said, Phentermine takes your appetite away and acts like as a stimulant as well. I mean, obviously, dude, the guy's cheating. So can we not act like that? Can we not act like the guy is, like he's not cheating? Can we not pretend that this guy's not a dirty fighter and kind of get to it? You know what I mean? And you can't defend it by saying other people did it. Okay, even in the case with Roy Jones Jr. Okay, Roy Jones Jr. tested positive before a fight. Great. So what? You should have suspended him too. How does that absolve Oscar Valdez? How does that absolve the WBC? How does that absolve them? Okay, it's the WBC that said they were using VADA rules. They're the ones that bragging about the voluntary anti-doping. Okay, you see that little technique you're using doesn't even work. I don't even have to defend them. Every person that you say tested positive performance enhancing drugs, fine. They all got away with it too. That just means boxing's even dirtier. So you're helping my argument by saying there's more than Oscar Valdez. Look, let me tell you who's not going to be able to juice up, okay? Errol Spence Jr. ain't getting away with that. Errol Spence Jr. is never going to get away with that. I'm sorry. And they let Alexander Povetkin get away with it too. Oscar, this is not the first time the WBC has done stuff like this. The WBC did this with Oscar Valdez. You know what I'm saying? Man, Craig Bonet, man, much love. Bonet, man, thank you so much for supporting, man. Much love in that super chat, man. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, man. Man, Spence will be 86th. You know you can't get away with that shit. You know it. And don't act like, no way. And I mean, seriously, for you guys to act like Roy Jones Jr. got that type of treatment, even if it did, your argument is still whack. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so what? All right, Manny Pacquiao is on steroids. Okay, so what? Right? If they're allowing them, but to do what they're doing now is just, it's the guy's going to be on TV next week. And everybody watching that fight is going to be like, this guy's on steroids. At least, but they don't respect the hardcore boxing fans. I know what it is, man. Man, Deontay Wilder would be treated he would be treated in the media like Big Baby Miller was. His argument about why he had it in his system would be ignored. And then they would talk about it, and they would talk about it, and they would talk about it and use him as an example. They would use him as an example of when they're doing things right. But they will let Oscar Valdez's ass slip through with that. Man, said Wilder would get, Dwayne Bowman said, no black fighters would get away with this without being punished. Dude, exactly. Dude, look at Roy Jones. Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. didn't even get caught. And he's being treated like it. As soon as Oscar Valdez popped up, man, come on, of course they're not going to let black fighters get away with that stuff, man. And it's like, dude, but I'm glad, and black people ain't going to sit around and not tell you, okay? See, you want people to sit around and act like we don't see it, and it's just not going to happen. We see it. You're cheating. Oscar Valdez is not confident in his ability as a fighter, so he cheats. So you're going to push off Oscar Valdez as somebody that's a great fighter, and he's a drug cheat. Okay, that's what he is. He's a drug cheat, and he gets no respect at all for him and Canelo. Canelo got beat by Floyd Mayweather Jr., and after that, he went on a steroids binge. He's like, I'm going to get bigger, faster, stronger, and make sure that I have every advantage that I can possibly have. Because you're not confident that you can win fights, man. Guys that are really confident, that really truly confident they could do it, wouldn't use it. Okay, you've had to have some experiences where you feel like you didn't have enough in the tank, where you got to take these drugs while you're training, and you get the benefits. It's not like you're going through it and training and all that stuff. You're going to get the benefits of it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get the benefits of it, even though you did it out of competition. You guys shame on you guys straight up for even defending that nonsense. Because that's what you're defending nonsense. Michael Kirkland said, if I found out Roy Jones was taking steroids at the time, I would feel the same as I do against Oscar Valdez as cheating. Thank you. And as well you should. As well you should. I mean, it was disappointing when I found out that Shane Mosley was involved in Balco. And once I found out that Shane Mosley was involved in it, I lost some respect for Floyd. I lost some respect for Shane Mosley, you know? And that's just the way it should be. You guys want to defend guys that are cheaters. He said Wilder caught more flags for fucking headphones. Got all kind of flack for wearing headphones in an interview. Are you guys going to ever admit that you guys don't like black people? Seriously, can you just come out and say it, and it'll just be a lot easier? It'll be a lot easier. You don't like black people, and you're never gonna let black people get away with this, okay? But when you have enough money under the table, dog, you'll let something get away. You'll let Oscar Valdez get away with that, because that sounds like some old payola shit to me, like straight up payola. Like, hey, because they had it all set up. You had the local sanctioning body approve it. Then they got backup from the ABC and then the WBC, and then the WBC let it slide, man. But guess what? Ain't nobody gonna the public opinion is not gonna let it slide on Oscar Valdez, man. I don't care. He's not even. He should be stripped. Yes, I mean it's obvious it's obvious what they did. It's super coordinated to try to get away with that. But Oscar Valdez's reputation's ruined, and so is Canelo Alvarez's. I mean, you're not gonna get out of that. Canelo Alvarez got caught as a drug cheat, and he's obviously a drug cheat, man. FSU, OKC, WG3, what's your thoughts on Conor Benn? Conor Benn is a rough kid, man. That's a rough kid. He's a strong kid, a rough kid, but I wish he just seemed like he was just trying to go for the knockout against Adrian Granados, and you know, he looked like he had good power because he had Adrian Granados running. So Adrian Granados, I think, kind of bitched out a little bit in that fight. You know what I mean? Like, I think Adrian Granados was going to get knocked out. And Adrian Granados was running for the hills half the fight, man. That wasn't just fool. That was just straight running. So obviously, Conor Benn's got to get better at cutting off the ring, but he looked good in that. I mean, he looked very strong. He looked stronger in that fight than I'd seen him before, you know? But I think he overuses the hook. He needs to throw straighter punches, and he needs to learn how to cut off the ring better. Dale McCray in that super chat. He said, we still haven't heard from Big Baby Miller. Shaving had only black fighters. Yeah, pretty much. Hey, look, man. Let me break this to you, and excuse me. Black people do not have a sanctioning body. Okay? We don't have the World Council of Black People, that resides in the middle of a black country that supports black fighters. The WBC is in the middle of Mexico, and they support Mexican fighters. And it is very, very obvious that they do it. Okay? So there's a certain amount of that to be, commended. You know what I mean? But at the same time, dude, as a black fight fan, look, man, you guys are going overboard with that shit. And I know the WBC listens. You're going overboard with it, man. You got it. Mauricio Suleiman is just, you're doing too much, man. You need to give a good joke, a good gesture of faith or something. My man, DSV Co, man, thank you. And everybody that supports in the super chat, thank you so much. He said, they want me to believe that Andy got a six-pack in a year. Canelo all of a sudden breaks somebody's face or even tears somebody's bicep with punches. Yeah, dude, they're on dope. They're on dope, and it's an act. It's an act at this point in time. Okay? It's an act. They're making believe. That's what it is. When you have guys on steroids, you're playing make believe. Okay? Just like Jake Paul, that's make believe, man. Jake Paul's on steroids. Like, if you guys don't see that Jake Paul is on steroids, like Jake Paul, especially that older one. What's the guy's name? Logan Paul? Logan Paul looks like a big pile of steroids. He's betting Floyd Mayweather Jr. Let me use steroids and I can beat you. And Floyd's like, use whatever you want to use. You're garbage, but I'll make some money doing it, so go ahead. But the dude is obviously, he's a bodybuilder, man. Dude, it's not that easy to get built like that. Especially when that's not your natural. Dude, Andy Ruiz is a fat boy. I mean, it's what he is, man. And when you're dude, there are people that are genetically fat boys. Okay, it hangs on you. You know what I'm saying? He said, Oscar Valdez lawyer is Patrick Inglis from the ABC. You can't make this shit up. Oh, for real? His lawyer works for the ABC? There you go. But you know how it goes, man. The lawyers from his lawyer works for that's not a conflict of interest. You don't have any inside track. You don't have any inside track on that one. Tony Starks says the drug cartels in Mexico run boxing, so Suleiman going to do what he's told. Hey, man, in those situations, I guess he's going to do what he's told, but you got to lay where it is. I don't doubt that he has a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't doubt that he has a reason to do the stuff that he does. I'm sure he does have a reason to do it, but for whatever reason he has, he's doing it. So I'm not going to get past the fact that he's doing it. You know what I'm saying? You're doing it. And since you're doing it, you're going to be held responsible for doing it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. For me, there's just no excuse. Sometimes you had to do it. So you have to do it. You did it and you did it. At the end of the day, there's going to be a guy named Oscar Valdez who was on juice, getting into the ring and fighting. And then people are going to act like that, like everything's normal. You know what I mean? But the justification of it is what's ridiculous for me. You know, like, don't try to put everybody else on blast because Oscar Valdez got caught. This is Canelo and Oscar Valdez. And I'm going to attach Canelo to it because he's out of the same gym. And it's so obvious Canelo Alvarez is doing it. You know? Dale McCray in that super chat, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much for the support, man. He said, by the way, you can't buy phentermine over the counter, only prescribed by a doctor. But he's got the problem. He needs it. Like Maria Sharapova needed to use heart medicine for 5 years. What was that other stuff? I forget the name of it because, they got a new one that pops up all the time. But Maria Sharapova and Alexander Povetkin were on it, and it was for heart problems, as if it doesn't do other things. But that's okay. We'll just act like you don't see it. You know what I mean? Like you don't see Maria Sharapova's head get this big all of a sudden. I was gonna say meldonium. I was gonna say what was I gonna say? Melatonin. I was thinking about the sleep aid melatonin. Yeah. So what? Fausto de Garza. So what? So what? So what? How does that save Oscar Valdez? We're going to go back to your distractions. So what? So did a lot of people. A lot of people failed drug tests. So what? That does not mean that Oscar Valdez should be allowed to fight. Is your argument that you're making the argument that because Evander Holyfield tested positive for something, that means Oscar Valdez should be allowed to fight? Please help me with this. I don't even get that. Like, why do you waste your time with that one? Does anybody understand how ridiculous that is? When you say those things, when you try to defend Oscar Valdez, and I'm asking you, please defend him. Come to the chat and continue to try to defend him. I don't mind batting that down. That's a very easy thing. That's a very easy thing to argue. I'm not going to get into an argument really about whether or not he tested positive or not. I'm just going to assume what you say is true. And the answer then goes to, so what? You know what I'm saying? So what? He shouldn't have been allowed to fight either. So you think what? Now Oscar Valdez, if that was the case, then anybody should be able to be allowed to be. Evander Holyfield tested positive for something, even though we don't know it to be true. I don't know that to be true. But you want to throw him under, okay, well, that means anybody should be able to do whatever. That means Errol Spence should be able to get on steroids, right? Should Errol Spence be able to get on steroids? Packroyd. So many hurt Mexicans bringing up black fighters showing their racism. It's just a stupid argument. I'm not even going to say they're showing racism. It's just a stupid argument. It's just a stupid argument. Seriously. They can defend. You can say that as much as you want. It's just a stupid argument. It's a deflection and it's stupid. Because if you're saying, because I'm asking you, what are you saying? Much love in that super chat, man. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you so much for supporting, man. That means a lot, and I really, truly do appreciate it. Seriously. When you say Evander Holyfield got caught, what does that have to do with Oscar Valdez? Are you saying because he got caught, that means it's okay for Oscar Valdez to use steroids and then get into a fight? If that is the case, then because Evander Holyfield got caught, don't say anything about Floyd Mayweather Jr. and injections in his hands. And in fact, because Holyfield got caught, don't say anything about Roy Jones Jr. getting caught. Don't say anything about Canelo Alvarez getting caught. Don't say anything about Big Baby Miller getting caught. Don't say anything about anybody getting caught anywhere. That's the stupidity of your argument. Seriously, it's just stupid. And on top of it, it then points out the hypocrisy. Because you know damn well Errol Spence got puffy nipples and people make a big deal about his puffy nipples. I got a puffy nipple gate video coming out today. Please watch it on the channel too. We appreciate when you watch the videos and share the videos. Shameless plug for the videos. Amir El Washi said, yes, why people say Canelo's on steroids? Because he is. Because he got tested. People say Canelo Alvarez is on steroids. My man A. Jackman said, pause. Whatever I said, if I said something that was pause worthy, pause. I don't mean to be out there in the pause zone. And my man Life as I can't say as Ale said, love your show. You tell the truth. Thank you, man. And it means a lot, man. Because I said gyno. Did I say something about gyno? But I don't think I said anything about gynecologist or anything like that. Look, man, here's my rule. Once you get caught on steroids, legitimately caught, okay? I'm not talking about somebody telling me that they saw something in a report somewhere that came out 10 years later, okay? But before Holyfield was completely retired before there was any conversation about him using steroids. Roy Jones Jr. was retired before, well, maybe not Roy Jones, because Roy Jones fought on. I'm not trying to hear it. I know when somebody's on steroids when it comes out like on a newspaper or it comes out and says somebody has tested positive for VADA has caught this guy on this drug and it is being reviewed. Then we know he popped dirty. And the only excuse that Oscar Valdez really has is that he was taking it. Oh, glynocomastria. Yeah. The glynocomastria. You got me seriously, man. There are people that indict him on that. Oh, Errol Spence Jr. is on steroids. Look at his puffy chest. Like, okay, all Errol Spence Jr. needs to have is surgery to get rid of that. So, like a lot of the fighters that probably get that, they probably get, clear it out. But Andy Ruiz having a six-pack, if Andy Ruiz comes back with a six-pack, I'm sorry, that dude's on steroids. If he comes with a six-pack. The pictures that I saw with Andy Ruiz with a six-pack, though, look Photoshopped to me. I ain't gonna lie. So I'm not gonna throw Andy Ruiz under the bus until I see that Andy Ruiz tests positive. Or he comes out with a six-pack that I actually see. If I see, because he's a fat boy. Andy Ruiz, it ain't just laziness and all that stuff that makes Andy Ruiz look like that. Andy Ruiz is a big dude, man. That is how Andy Ruiz is built. Andy Ruiz would probably he could eat the same thing as other people, dude, and still be overweight. Because there are some people that are naturally big, husky dudes. And if Andy Ruiz pops up with six packs that I can see, I'll believe it. But I'm not gonna believe it off the photos because they tried to pull that on Andy Ruiz before the Anthony Joshua 2 fight, and he pops out with a belly. So I just can't do it. Dude, hey Jackman, you're not really doing a good job with this. So what if Vada hasn't? He got caught by Vada. Okay? WADA hasn't been around forever. So what? He still got caught. He was on the performance enhancing drug. That's an irrelevant fact. I'm sorry. You got to get that out of here, man. You got to defend better, man. You got to try better. How about this? How about tell the truth? They don't care. And maybe Top Rank's money is tight and they got a fight that they were going to air and they didn't want to lose the money. Top Rank is firing a bunch of, my understanding is Top Rank has been firing people out of their organization. Man, money is tight out there, man. And they had a fight, they had a show and they didn't want to lose the money, right? Because if they lose that card and they didn't want to lose the money. Just tell the truth. KP, I wonder if Tyson Fury comes back with abs. Man, he's going to come back with some form of cheating, man. Much love in that super chat. And to everybody that supports in the super chat, thank you very, very much. Really appreciate it. You guys keep the channel rolling. It means a lot, man, for the continued support. So thank you very much, man. And Richard Hill hits that like button for the great content. Yeah, man, hit the like button. We having a good conversation today, ain't we? Ain't we? Ain't we? Yeah, we only got three. Come on, man. We got 349 people in here on a fine Sunday morning. Let's hit them likes, hit the like button, man. We know we can get it over 300, man. Black people, come on, dude. That's whack. What do you mean, black people? Come on. What's the thing? I'm sorry, man. I don't believe it. If you love, hold on, let me stop. Make sure I'm taking that in the proper context. Thank you, Ms. Fannon, for putting out all the facts. Yeah, no problem, man. I don't mind. It's the money. They don't want to lose the money. They don't want to lose the money. That's why they let that slide, dog. But Top Rank doesn't want to lose. Top Rank is crooked as the letter Z. Or at very least, they get away. They happen to be involved in more crooked shit than the alphabet. Okay? They got more crooked shit going on in the alphabet over there. And it just so happens that, they keep on sliding with it. But I love that it got exposed. Seriously, I love it because don't tell me Oscar Valdez. Don't talk to me about Oscar Valdez don't try to put his ass on no pound for pound list. Don't try to tell me how great a fighter he is. If he wins this fight, I don't want to hear it. He's just a drug cheat. And he's an example of and when I look at this dude fight, I'm going to be looking at him to see what steroids looks like. That's what I'm doing. When I look at Canelo Alvarez, I look to see what steroids look like because that's what steroid looks like. There's no way you're going to convince me these guys aren't doing it, especially after they got caught, And you can't tell me that you guys are really trying to get rid of corruption in boxing because you just will do this shit right in everybody's face. When push comes to shove, the WBC will get corrupt right in your face. They got no shame. No shame in their game, dude. You know what I mean? Because as long as they get them checks, because they're going to get them big checks out of Canelo, and they wanted Canelo to have that WBC belt real bad. Pednello herbal tea. Yeah, herbal tea. Herbal tea. A. Jackman said Valdez should get stripped and no one should watch the fight. I agree with that, man. He should get stripped. I think he should get banned, personally. But, that's because I want to get rid of steroids. I don't think he's on steroids because they see the way that his chest looks. And his chest looks like, because it's got tissue, gynecomastia, that is something that bodybuilders will get when they use too much in performance-enhancing drugs. So they use that as a sign to say that he's on performance-enhancing drugs. That's what that is. Michael Kirkland said, hope they go away like HBO. Bob Arum is just another greedy you-know-what. Man, I'm telling you, HBO, I never thought that I would say, man, at least HBO ain't the zone. I mean, God dog, man, at least they would put, but the zone, HBO really went downhill, man, because HBO went downhill. That took a chunk out of boxing, man. Because now you know what I found funny about, one of the things I thought was funny about the fight with the zone fight is that they try to give it the feel of HBO by having Michael Buffer come over to the UK and call that fight and try to give it a feel like an HBO feel to it. It's a lot of production, but they're subpar fights. You know what I mean? Said low key they need to bring back HBO boxing. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I'm serious, man. I would be kind of geeks for it right now, But said G Code, are you gonna watch? G Code said, are you gonna watch the Valdez fight, Fannon? Look, man, I probably wouldn't have watched the Valdez fight if the dude. I don't know if I would have watched that Oscar Valdez fight, even if he didn't test positive. You know what I mean? Because I'm not that interested in Oscar Valdez, and I don't think Oscar Valdez is that good a fighter. Really. I mean, I really do like bigger fighters, better fighters, and I don't think Oscar Valdez is that good. But I'll probably watch it for the controversy. Who knows? I'm telling you, I'm not. Every time I say I'm gonna blackball something or what do you call it? Boycott. Shouldn't say blackball. Should say boycott. Every time I say I'm going to boycott something, I don't do it. I turn around and watch the fight because I'm addicted to boxing, man. It's terrible. Oh, yeah, wait for this one. Yeah, exactly. Valdez should fight Stevenson, and he'll get in there juicing against Stevenson. And he'll get in there juicing against Stevenson, and if he beat him, they would be happy about it. Like, dog, you should get nothing out of cheating, man. Like Tyson Fury, I don't care. There's in the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight, you can't tell me this guy's not cheating coming into this fight. You can't tell me that the guy's not bending every rule that he can possibly bend, breaking every rule that he can break, and breaking any rule he can break. I can't imagine what Tyson Fury's up to. You know what I mean? 9 Mile players to have fake boycott. Like I don't know what you want me to tell you. I don't know what to say. I watch boxing, man, and that's my favorite sport. You know what? I almost tweeted this, but I was too ashamed. I was like, you know what? If there was a Chicago Bears game on and there was a Katie Taylor fight, I would probably watch the Katie Taylor fight before I watch the Bears game. That's how much into boxing I'm in. That's how into boxing I am. So to watch the Oscar Valdez fight, you know what I mean? I would watch it. Hey, man, thank you, Daryl Schaefer. I appreciate that, man. I really do appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for the compliment, man. It is definitely appreciated. Oh, Shacky Foster in the building. What's going on, man? He said, that's the champ. What's going on, champ? We get going for the champ, man. He said, Fannon, they trying to keep Valdez away from me. I should be fighting for the vacant WBC title right now. Well, we got to have to do some research on that and put that out there to Shacky Foster, the great man. Shout out to Shacky Foster. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. I'm not sure if you got an Instagram, but I would definitely follow you on Twitter. For the champ, Shacky Foster, who caught somebody else catching people being dirty. Yep. Fury is going to stub his toe and cancel the fight. Man, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen, man, with that one. But whatever way he's going to come in there, man, yeah, let's get them lights up to 360. It would be greatly appreciated, man. We got 198 people in the building. Let's get the lights up over 300, man. We got a lot of people in the building today talking this boxing, man. Yes, sir. Eric Kennedy says, should JDs have been fired with Mark Breland if what you're saying about Tyson Fury is true? I don't know. I would put it this way. If Deontay Wilder decided to fire whoever he wanted to fire, that's up to him. I mean, he could have kept Mark Breland for all. I'm not in that. See, I don't need Deontay Wilder or anything Deontay Wilder tells me to let me know that Tyson Fury cheated. I don't rely on that. I'm not blindly following Deontay Wilder and what Deontay Wilder said. In order for me to say that Tyson Fury was a cheater, I saw it myself. I saw it. So when I see it, what do I need anybody else for? And so since I don't need Deontay Wilder to tell me Tyson Fury cheated, I can see it myself. I don't need to speculate about what I would do if I was Deontay Wilder. The truth of the matter is I don't know JDs. I don't know JDs. But I do know that Deontay Wilder has man, I can't believe Malik Scott as his new trainer, is his new head trainer, and he's talking like he's his new head trainer. So obviously Deontay Wilder made changes to what he's doing, and he's working on making changes, and that's what it is. But the issue of Tyson Fury cheating for me is separate and distinct from what Deontay Wilder thinks about it. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, it took me a while to get on the Deontay Wilder, the Tyson Fury cheated mode. Cause I'm like anybody else. I don't want to hear the nonsense. Just serious. I don't like people coming by the chat talking a lot of nonsense. I like to be peaceable and loving, even though there's a bunch of channels out there that make videos about me every day. I don't like that crap. So I try to stay out of that stuff. But when something is shown to me that is so readily apparent and nobody does anything, and you got the boxing media acting like they don't see it, what am I supposed to do? Just act like, they don't pay me. If I got paid by Top Rank, maybe I wouldn't say it. You know what I mean? But I don't get paid by Top Rank, so I don't have that problem. They have that problem. Exactly. I need an evidence, man. And when I saw the evidence, and that's what it is. When I saw the evidence is there, man. And after that, I don't need anything else. So a lot of your stuff really, I did need evidence, and I saw the evidence. The evidence is the guy's hand. I saw it. I saw his glove move to the side. I saw it. You know what I'm saying? So I have the evidence. There is videotape evidence, right? Like you can tape record something and somebody can be seen on tape and they will use that as evidence. When you look at a fight and you literally see Tyson Fury's glove move to the side, that's evidence of him having tapered gloves. And the WBC has absolutely their word means nothing. You know what I mean? WT said, for the record, I respect your opinion, but the majority of people know Fury is a better fighter than Deontay. You must know the changes Deontay made will cost him the fight down to quality. I don't know any of that shit. And I respect your opinion too, and I appreciate you saying that. That's very important to respect people's opinion, because at the end of the day, what we're talking about people's opinion. And that's all we really have. Who we think is going to win a fight, who we think won a fight, that's everybody's opinion. So it would be nice if people could stay respectful about people's opinions. That's why I don't do that. Like you never see me make videos about what another person what another person had to say that is a YouTube. They got a YouTube channel and that's their opinion, then that's just their opinion. You're never going to see me with a video, unless it's something, I can't foresee it, me making a video about what somebody else's opinion is on YouTube. What that is just you're disrespecting somebody because of their opinion, because that's all it is. If I think Tyson Fury cheated and you don't, okay, great. That's your opinion. I got my opinion. The real fact behind it is that they're going to fight again, though. And I know this. You guys, a whole bunch of people told me as a fact that Deontay Wilder wasn't going to get that third fight. And I'm going to tell you that cheating had a lot to do with him getting that third fight. That cheating had a lot to do with him getting that third fight, because he was claiming defamation. He was saying the reason that he didn't want that fight is because of what Deontay Wilder had said about him and how it had damaged his reputation. And, and the judge was like, no, sorry, looks like it's reasonable to assume you cheated. To me, look at your gloves flopping. That's what my understanding is happened. My understanding is that they looked at that and they saw it. But the WBC, dude, the WBC has no standing whatsoever to talk about almost anything or anybody being corrupt, because they forgive people right out and straight out in broad daylight. You know what I mean? Chad Whitehead said, bomb squad to this day. Yes, sir, man. And I'm a Deontay Wilder fan. I won't lie about that. You know? I don't think it makes it conclusive. Look, man, it's conclusive for me. You know, the standard isn't beyond all doubt. Like, there's no way. Nah, man. I see his glove. I see his hand, man. I see his hand. And I see, you know what I mean? Flapping, bro. Reed, what are you talking about? Flopping. Oh, glove flopping is not conclusive of cheating. Yes, it is. If you flop your glove, and no, I'll stick back, said flapping, bro. Reed, look, man, I'm reading 1,000 comments, young Merv the Cut Man. If I misread something, you got to forgive me. Flopping, it doesn't change it. It's the conclusion to me. I got to the end of it. Sorry. It is conclusive to me when I see your glove move to the side and I see this part of your fingers. It's conclusive to me. Flapping is conclusive to me. How I saw it. Now, if I didn't see knuckles, then maybe. But the flapping is not what made it conclusive to me. It was when I saw his knuckles. You know what I mean? Yeah, no worries, man. You know what I mean? Slow down. Yeah, I try. Sometimes I skip past stuff because I'm trying to read a lot of people's stuff. Chad Whitehead said, anyone with eyes can see his glove. That's cheating, y'all. Come on, man. I mean, obviously he cheated, man. You obviously cheated. So let's not act like he didn't cheat. And on top of it, the guy tested positive for steroids. I think the dude was on steroids in that fight. He's going to be in steroids in this next fight. Why not at this point? There's a new drug you can use. There's a new drug that you can use. You can use Combuterol. You know, you can microdose with Combuterol. And you can use this Phentermine or whatever you call it. So, I mean, with the WBC, steroids is legal. So you might as well use them when you're there. That's what they're telling you. And to boot, hey man, we got 346 people in the channel, man. 221 likes, man. Let's get the likes up, man, if you would not mind. Gun-toting Democrat said, if y'all don't believe Martin by now, you're hopeless. From Glovegate to arbitration, Martin has been on point every step of the way. Pretty much. I mean, it's pretty much lock, stock, and barrel, dude. And the WBC is okay with cheating. They're fine with it. You know they're fine with it. They'll come up with an excuse if the guy cheats. They'll cover for you. They're not only okay with it, they'll actually cover for you. You know, if the money's right, they'll cover for you. So it is what we always thought it was. Boxing is corrupt. But don't you find it kind of funny how boxing is always corrupt when it's the other guy, but when it's your guy, boxing is you. It's impossible to cheat. There's no. I mean, Oscar Valdez. Do you even have people that defend Oscar Valdez? I don't think you even have people that are defending Oscar Valdez, really, like, because they know what the deal is. They say he did the whole perfect documentary on it, plain as day. Yeah, dude's a cheater, and he is a rampant cheater, and he relies on it. You know what I mean? No, I don't think. He said as long as you're Mexican, they're fine with it. Hey, man, I don't know what to say about that. I'm sure it'll creep out of there. I'm sure it will creep out of there. If the money's right, they're fine with it. But they were gonna let Marcos Maidana get in the ring with those loaded gloves against Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? FSU OKC said all you have to do with these Fury cheating fans is ask them why, if Fury and Joshua fight each other, they aren't looking in their own country, because that cheater can't fight there. Oh, no doubt. Oh, I love that one. Do you remember how confident the UK with the media, the marketing ploy was when they were pushing that stuff about the zone and about how the UK was taking over boxing? Man, those were the good old days, weren't they? When everybody was acting like the UK was going to take over, that shit flopped like a champ. Oh, we're going to give you, there's no pay-per-view. Now every other fight's on pay-per-view. Pay-per-view's dead. But now you got a pay-per-view with, you got YouTube pay-per-views. There's more pay-per-views after the zone came around than there were before the zone came around. Jaywalk said, franchise anybody not black, cover for anybody not black. Hey man, you know where my thing is? I have my mind kind of works like this. I just know they're not going to defend a black dude like that. Okay? I'm not going to say that they're going to, why they defended Oscar Valdez, because I suspect that it really does have something to do with, I really think it does have something to do with this, just the money. You know, not just the money. I know it has, I believe it has something to do with the money. But I cannot see the WBC defending Errol Spence for that, like under that scenario. And I think that the social pressure would be too hard on the WBC to defend that, because there's not enough just regular everyday people that are okay with black folk cheating. I think that they already act and behave as if black people walk in the door cheating because you're black and you've got an unfair advantage because of that. So they don't want any more cheating. That's why I just know black people ain't going to get away with that. That's where I am. If anybody believes that black people are going to get away with that, okay, you know, that's not been my experience. You got, matter of fact, Roy Jones Jr. didn't even get caught and his name's getting thrown under the bus. You know what I mean? What's Fahim Sator? I haven't read. I'm sorry, I missed some of Fahim's comments. I'll go back to the last one of Fahim's comments. It's too far back. Oh yeah. Fannon is right about everything except Bud Porter. Oh, he says that Porter and Bud isn't going to fight. And I've got a little mini series of videos about it because I'm trying to promote the fight. Because I want that fight to happen badly because I got $50 riding on that. You know what I mean? But he just doesn't believe that the Terrence Crawford versus he doesn't believe Terrence Crawford versus Sean Porter is going to happen because he believes that he believes that Terrence Crawford is a coward, pretty much. And I'm saying I don't think that's the case, man. That's where we are with that one. Man, I appreciate this, man. My man Julian Ledesma. Much love in that super chat. He said, I'm a Mexican American born in Mexico. I love following Mexican boxers, but giving Valdez a pass is not right. They should have suspended him. Exactly. That's what I'm sure there's a lot of Mexican people that feel like that. That's an organization. I don't want to push that out on all Mexicans because I think we can overgeneralize, but that is just a bad look for the sport, man. It's a terrible look for the sport. A. Jackman's getting a lot of time today. I think the fight was involved and had something to do with it as well. You know, they weren't going to play about their money. Yeah, they're going to let that fight because, yeah. You're talking about the tribe that that's going to make the fun. They're going to make the money. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. That's funny. Hey, Vladimir's dad, I appreciate you, man. Who is Panty Sniffer? That's crazy, man. Hold on one second. A. Jackman said Crawford Porter has definitely happened. Yeah, I think it's going to happen, man. It needs to happen. If it doesn't happen, Lord have mercy. COVID is tearing up boxing, man. Darnell Schaefer said, grow back the beard. My mom loved it. Yeah, man, I got to get it out of there, man. That's too much upkeep, man. And I don't feel like it. And it just, it is what it is. Fahim Sator said, Bud ain't a coward. He just ain't fighting Porter for 3.5. Top Rank ain't trying to pay Porter what he's worth. Okay. I could have sworn you just thought that he wasn't going to take no tough fights, man. I could have sworn I heard that at you, Fahim. Matter of fact, man, I'm like 99% sure that I heard that out of you, Fahim. that you didn't think he was going to take that fight because he didn't want to fight tough competition. That's what I thought. Now maybe I'm wrong, but honestly, I don't think I'm wrong, man. I thought you threw him under the bus. But, it is what it is. I could be wrong, absolutely. Like I'm wrong putting on this sweaty ass shirt in this thing. Hold on one second. I got to use a mask to wipe my forehead, man. These lights get hot. Richard D'Alba said, an honest questioning. How much does a diet pill help Valdez in performance? I'm asking anyone who sees this. Okay. I don't know, but if it's a performance enhancing drug, weight loss is important in boxing matches. To keep your weight down is important because if your weight jumps up, then you definitely have to fight. You definitely got to fight in a higher weight class than you may want to fight, man. So weight loss means a lot in boxing, man. I'm telling you, man, I made a mistake wearing this shirt because this sucker's hot under these lights. But we keep it pushing. You know what it is. We keep it pushing. Fannon, you from Philly or Chicago? I'm from Chicago. I got family in Philadelphia, though. Yeah, losing weight is a skill. It's cheating using diet pills. That's pretty much the gist of it, man. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, Jaywalk said, the boxing gods are blessing by. Hey, hold on one second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, man. Yeah, I need a little towel to wipe my head. Yeah, they are. It enhances your performance because it helps you lose weight. It is because part of it is that you have to actually lose the weight, man. You know what I mean? 76 Mark Palermo said they prescribe them relatively easily at diet doctors here in Tennessee. I think they are very dangerous. Oh, the diet pills, it is what it is. Fahim Sator said, Fannon, he's not taking any tough fights for $3.5 million. That's why he wants Spence fight so bad, because he feels the risk is worth it. Now, that's fair. I'm glad you said that, Fahim. I'm glad that you did that, because I don't want to misquote you. You know what I mean? I don't want to misquote you. So thank you for clearing that up, that you just think he won't take that fight for that low of money. But, I'm thinking that they're going to be able to get it's interesting, man. We'll see what happens, man. You know what I mean? He said, I agree, Fahim. That's reasonable. Darnell Shaver, what's better? Chicago pizza is much better than New York pizza. But then again, people that say New York pizza is really good, maybe people that live in New York that have been like all out throughout New York and can really see how good it is, But the places that I've been in New York, when I ate the pizza, I thought absolutely nothing special about it. For me. Julius Sirk said, back in the building in Germany, if I'm a WBC champion, I'm dropping the belt for safety concerns and making a statement. Much love in that super chat. But hey, man, it is what it is, man. Yeah, Chicago is the king of deep dish. Well, yeah, but that's touristy stuff, man. That's not really... That's touristy stuff. That deep dish stuff is like lasagna pie, man. I don't eat a lot of that stuff. That's not what I always thought about. People outside of the United States always talk about. I mean, outside of Chicago, talk about the deep dish, what is that? Pizza Uno and stuff like that. I don't really consider that to be Chicago pizza, but other people do, and it is what it is, man. Anthony Steele said, the fact that these fighters think their work product is worth their asking price is amazing. Hey, man, they paying big money out there, man. You know what I mean? Did I miss the super chat? I don't think I did, but let me go back. Dev Cole said, imagine Tank on them pills, he would be able to make 130 without looking drained like he did versus Leo. His face was so sunken it was sick. Yeah, man, he did look drained against that fight, man. In that fight. Hold on, let me see, make sure I didn't miss this, man. Oh, I got Julius Stokes in the building. And much love in that super chat to DSV Code. Much appreciated, man. That is much, much, much appreciated. Can't lie, man. You guys is helping the channel out because ain't nothing to talk about in boxing. Man, I work hard to talk about boxing every day, man. And it's like, wow, these guys are trying to make it real hard. Lawrence Johnson said, can't Oscar's opponent pull out of the fight on legal grains concerning the positive test results? But Oscar Valdez, I don't know, man. That's an interesting question, but he's going to lose his money, and I don't think he's going to want to do that. He's probably going to get a boost in his pay at the very least, and he'd be willing to get back in there, man. You know, these guys aren't, getting a shot at the championship, is a big thing, man. So I don't think he's going to throw away his championship, a shot at the championship for that. Javier Campos, what's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while, man. You said, so what do boxer do to get their extra pounds off? Run, I guess. Man, look, dude, these guys be cheating, and it is what it is. I can't be getting all into why I know he tested positive. You know what I'm saying? Man, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Brazy Too Deep said it's cheating because he can weight deplete without losing his energy, power, or strength. That's a big deal. Much love in that super chat, man. Said Oscar stops. I don't know how do you pronounce that. Conceição. Said, why is more emphasis put on Charlo in his situation than Valdez in the cheating? A distraction. And there's been pretty much, dude, the PBC is not going to get that type of coverage from the press. But I'm going to tell you though, I think that Oscar Valdez really and they got a lot of pushback on this from what I can see. Now you got people out there who are defending it, and I think a lot of that is just, a lot of that is people, hardcore boxing fan, or people associated with the WBC, or people associated with Top Rank, getting in message deals and trying to support it. But for the most part, ain't no reasonable people going to support that nonsense, man. It's absolutely crazy. Bam Bam tweet in the building. What's going on, Fi? How you feeling today, man? I hope all is well. Look, by the way, let me check these likes, man. We got over 300 people in the building and 262 likes, man. Let's get the likes over 300. That would be greatly appreciated. He said, Holyfield never tested positive either. Yeah, but I'm not going to get caught in that. People can say that, Boots versus Delorme, Boots by knockout over Delorme. Boots by stoppage over Delorme. I think Delorme did Delorme get knocked out recently? But Delorme's too straight up and down for him, man. He's going to wind up knocking him out, man. What's the best win you give Wilder credit for on his record? The Luis Ortiz fights, which put Luis Ortiz fights, because that's a very, very difficult fight, and that nobody else wanted to take, and Deontay Wilder took. So his biggest wins are the two Luis Ortiz fights. And that's nothing. And that's not no easy guy to beat, man. Philip Guthrie said, Fannon, what do you think Bradley and Ward will say Friday during the Valdez fight? I don't know, man. That's going to be interesting. That might be worth watching the fight just to hear what they say, because I don't know how in the world they're going to defend that nonsense. You know what I mean? Like, I know that they didn't defend it to begin with. They said it was just greed, and they said that out of ESPN. So, probably they're going to say something about it and how ridiculous it is. I hope that's what they say. But, they work for people, so it's tough, man. J.A. in the building. Thank you so much, man. Said Tank was stripped for missing weight by a pound. Valdez kept his belt by taking a banned substance that helps you lose weight. So basically, it's better to make weight by cheating them than it is to miss weight. Hey, man, apparently so. But they said that this, and I don't know if it's, man, you don't know what that dude's doing. You cheating. It's not, that may be the drug they got caught with. That may be just the drug that he got caught with, and not the only drug that he was on, in my book. And JA, man, thank you so much for supporting the channel, man. That's huge. I really appreciate it. Let's see if we got these 300 likes, man. Come on, man. We got 273 likes. We can get the likes over 300. Shavo TV says, somebody told me that Wilder was ducking AJ because AJ sent him a contract and he didn't sign. Is that true? I don't know. I think he did send him something and he didn't sign it, but I wouldn't call that ducking. There was a whole lot of conversation about that, man, like the amount of the money and all of that stuff. He said, yeah, Lawrence Johnson said masking agents. Yeah, it's just sad, man. That's not a mosquito. Fahim said, I think Wilder's biggest win was outboxing Stavern to win his title. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that one too. Yeah, term sheet's not a contract. Yeah, unless you make it binding. Unless you make it a binding, unless you try to slip it by somebody with a signature and the language of it binds you. You know what I mean? Wendell Jackson said definitely Fittermean was a cover up. Yeah, it's just bad. It's bad business all the way around, man. You know, there's just no way that anybody can get out of that, man. It's bad business all around, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? Gun-toting Democrat said, Javier, cardio and physical exertion without the use of enhanced substance. Cardio burns muscle after the white pill cuts the muscle loss. Understand now? Yeah, dog. And they trying to find a way to build muscle. They try to find a way to build muscle and lose fat and burn fat at the same time. That's the same thing that Cumbuterol does. It allows you to actually build the muscle while you're burning the fat. So you don't have to have a fat camp. You can do two things at the same time. And it's obviously adjusting the form of your body to help you improve your performance. You know, if you can't make weight, you're not going to have a chance to perform. But I don't understand why people act confused about it. We know what the deal is. You know what I mean? It's doping. You know what I mean? It's doping. It works. People do it. They're very, very, and they have a lot of money to do it. You know what I'm saying? So they have an interest in doing it. And the WBC had an interest in letting it slide, man. So it is what it is. Pound for pound king Canelo said Luis Ortiz, Dillian White, who wins. Luis Ortiz, unless he's gotten too old. Unless they've actually aged him out and he's had some real, a decrease in his ability to perform. I got him in that, and I got him all day in that. So it is what it is. Darnell Shaver said, that's not for me. Yeah, doping at its finest. I mean, these guys are good at doping. They know how to dope. They dope. They know how to dope. They're going to continue to dope. And it is what it is, man. Let it be. Let's just the least we can do, and what we do in this chat is tell it what it is. I think people in here are people that love the sport of boxing. It's not like we're people that hate boxing, crapping on boxing. We're actually do videos every day talking about boxing, trying to keep people's interest up about boxing, all of that. But when you guys lay a big turd out there, it just is what it is, man. You got to call it for what it is. Yeah, of course he is. Of course he has. He is a drug cheat. He got suspended for 2 years for doping. Michael James 616. What's good, man? We got some old school cats in the building. Says someone told Wilder was ducking AJ. You lucky we in Fannon chat. I'm not going to disrespect his channel, but you a clown. Hey, man, you can go ahead, man. I don't know what, don't hold back. Don't hold back on my accord. I'm being polite. I'm not saying anybody else got to be overly polite. That's just me. I'm trying not to get, too out of whack about stuff like that, But if you want to say something to somebody on that, but that's kind of an old issue, you know what I mean? And the fact of the matter is that, at least from what I see, it was Anthony Joshua that didn't want to fight Deontay Wilder. When you offer a guy 14, unleash the hounds, man, do you. It is, you know, it is, man. I appreciate you guys coming talking to me every day. I really do. Your super chats are huge. They help the channel a lot. So, man, I mean, you know, mi casa is su casa. You know, I would appreciate if you're not too, you know, if you're not using racial slurs and calling people out, you know, stuff that's, you know, all out of whack. But it is what it is, man. This is boxing. It ain't, you know, we're not, this ain't cheerleading, you know. Dang, where to go? Hey, Byron Spencer said, top of the morning for now. Top of the morning to you, man. What's happening with you? Vice P. We need Thurman Ugas, man. I would love Thurman Ugas, man. I would love Thurman Ugas. And I think that needs to happen because I don't think Manny Pacquiao is going to get back in the ring with him. If Manny Pacquiao got in the ring with that dude, that would be super advantageous for Yordenis Ugas. But Yordenis Ugas is going to slap that dude silly, man. Pound for pound, King Canelo. Yeah, where's my? That makes it feel a lot better. Pound for pound, King Canelo said Boots versus Ortiz Jr. Oh, Boots. They don't want that, man. They don't want that. They don't want that. They don't want that fight. That's a bad fight for him. But that's the fight that's down the line. But I'll tell you what, I think Virgil Ortiz is better than some people think. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't take Virgil Ortiz too lightly in that fight now. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a live underdog. Similar to, I mean, and that's all you really want, man. You want a live underdog, right? You don't want these fights where these guys even like Caleb Plant, man. Caleb Plant is a live underdog, even though a lot of people think Canelo's just gonna roll through him or whatever. I think Caleb Plant's a live underdog because he thinks he's gonna win the fight. Versus other people that you can't convince me that these guys actually think that they're gonna win that fight, man. They come in the fight thinking that they're gonna lose right out the gate, man. You know what I mean? Michael Kirkland said, Fannon, who you got, Ugas or Danny Garcia? I got Danny Garcia in that fight. I think Danny Garcia will catch Ugas with something. I think they're both counter punches, but I think I might take Danny Garcia in that. That'd be a good fight because they're going to be right there. You know what I'm saying? Like they're going to be right there. There's not going to be a lot of playing around. But your Danny Ugas, I think, might be susceptible to Danny Garcia. But I think it'd be a good fight, man. I don't think Danny Garcia is gone, but I might take Danny in that fight. You know? Do you think Tio is running from Kambosos? No. I don't think so. I think they just got problem. He don't want to fight in Australia. And he's a little bit persnickety. You know what I mean? I think he's just a little bit persnickety, a little bit, wanting things his own way. But I don't really care about that fight. I wish they would have had that fight, got that fight out of the way so we can get to some of the better fights over in that division, in that thing. But look, man, I'm going to get up out of here, man. Much love to everybody in the chat this morning. It's been an absolute blast talking to you guys. I'll be back tomorrow morning. I know it's a holiday, but we'll be back chopping it up tomorrow. Thank you to everybody that supported the chat and the super chat. It means a lot. Thank you to everybody that left all the comments and all that stuff. Virgil versus Ben. Oh, I can't leave without answering that one. Or Bronner versus Ben. Probably Ben. I think Ben, he could probably get Adrian Bronner. As far as Virgil Ortiz and Conor Benn, I'll take Virgil Ortiz over from what I've seen from Conor Benn. But Conor Benn, he's strong. He looked really strong, but the guy was a smaller fighter. But anyway, it is what it is. Much love to everybody in the chat and the super chat. And with that, I'm out. Peace.